Okay, peeps. Today's show, we're going to try not to go to the 9 o'clock hour like we have in the past. We want to try to make this an average show. Because there's things that need to happen after the show today. But anyway, we're going to start talking. Tesla is coming up with an electric self-driving semi-tractor trailer that will be put into production soon. We're going to talk about Sony and how they're blocking cross-platform games, and how Nintendo is being sued by GameVice. And then we'll touch on PlayerUnknown's Battleground and how they have been climbing up the ladder of concurrent players at a time. So, and, murder's back this week. We have a murder.
Yay.
Well, actually, murder's on that side of me over there. Okay. So, we all know that the world is going forward with self-driving cars, self-parking cars, all this technology and things of the sort. Well, Elon Musk, he's been testing for a long time now this particular vehicle. It's a semi-truck, and it is an electric truck. So he's looking towards a greener way of doing things. I can't fault the man for that because, as humankind is concerned, we haven't done enough to save the environment from where it's at now. So he's trying. Can't fault the man for that. There are... What the hell? Shit just keeps popping up over here.
Ooh.
Sorry. It just... All of a sudden there was, messages popping up next to me, and it was the... other things we have. Sorry. Anyway, Tesla has been talking about the self-driving technology that he's been working on, for the semis. He's not the proprietor of self-driving technology. It's been around for a little while now. People have been working with it here and there, so it's nothing that he has created. He is offering this, what they call the semi-autonomous feature, in the form of autopilot for the cars. And it'll cost an additional $5,000 at the time of purchase. And then there's a full self-driving option, which is an additional $3,000. Right now, they don't have the software completely situated, as of yet, to work fully on its own, full self-driving. But once it is ready, that is something they are going to start offering for it. Now, what is this in detail for companies? Companies will be able to drive loads longer. Load 3 is not an option.
It is an option, damn bot.
Did you see that? 3 is not an option. Well, the bot doesn't know that there's a 3. Maybe it should. At least according to murder. But anyway, it will help move product from one end of the country to the other. But, in the same sense, you're going to start losing your driving force, your actual drivers, who their families depend on them to drive from point A to point B to receive a paycheck. I myself was a truck driver for a while. Murder, truck driver for a while, so we understand that this could impact people's lives in a way that would be very detrimental to putting food on the table. You know what I mean? But we'll see how that works out. But the state of Nevada is who they're looking at as far as Tesla is concerned to let them use their roads to test the technology.
No way, man. I'd use Montana or fucking Wyoming or something where there's not shit for miles.
Well, that and hills. How's this thing going to handle under hills? How's it going to handle with a jackknife?
I don't think we'll have a completely autonomous truck in our lifetime. Partially autonomous, an assisted or supervised truck, I could see Tesla coming up with and maybe putting out and people buying. Because, I mean, yeah, it can drive down the highway. It can make lane changes. I mean, their cars do that already.
Yeah.
How are you going to back a 53-foot trailer into some of these really tight spots that we've been to with a bunch of cameras and a computer in a truck? I mean, there's just, yeah, computers are super smart, but there's just so many variables that you've got to see visually and adjust for.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, the reason why they're going to go with Nevada is because Nevada is one of the very few states in the country that gives out licenses for autonomous vehicle testing. So that's another reason why they are going to Nevada. I just happened to see a side note on that one. Yeah, I mean, in all actuality, what's going to happen when you actually have... Who's going to be held reliable, say, when this vehicle fails? Who's going to be held reliable? There's nobody driving the truck. There's nobody getting tired behind the wheel, so there's nobody sleeping behind the wheel. And the company's going to go, well, it's not our fault. It's Tesla's fault because Tesla programmed it.
I'm sure Tesla will have a clause in there somewhere saying that with the purchase of this truck, you agree you're responsible for whatever happens to it.
Oh, yeah, but you see what I'm getting at, though, is, you know, the companies are going to look at, when they first look at this, they're going to first see this, they're going to be like, oh, well, we can put deniability on anything that happens out of our hands and put it on somebody else. Just like they try doing to drivers. They try to make it the driver's fault when something happens.
Another reason I don't think this is going to happen in our lifetime, to be completely automated. In order for these systems to work, all right, the computer has to see lines, some sort of lines.
Which they have to instill into the road already.
Yeah, well, it can, most of them, with the autopilot on the Teslas now, it goes off the lines that are already there. Your solid lines on each side and the dotted lines dividing the lanes. It uses those to operate based off cameras, and it uses radar on the front to determine the distance between you and the car in front of you.
Okay.
And it has sensors just like some of these cars have indicators for if somebody's in your blind spot. All right, there's sensors in the bumpers that sense when there's a car there. So the autopilot in the Teslas will change lanes on its own if you hit the turn signal. It has sensors. If there's a car there, it will stop and center itself back in your lane. Now, with that in mind, to do that with a truck, going to the point I made earlier of backing one of these up, every place that you want to dock one of these trucks would have to have visible lines marked in the right places for this thing to get in the dock perfectly. Because you and I both know if you're not in that dock just right, A lot of these dock plates won't go in the trailer correctly, and then they won't load or unload you.
That's correct.
Also, tons and tons of places around this entire country do not have any sort of markings or anything on their docks for any kind of automated system to see. We have to do it visually. And half of it, when you get close, we have to guess. Hopefully, I'm lined up right.
Or you have to get your ass out of the truck and go all the way to the back of the truck, look, gauge it, get back in your truck, make adjustments as needed in order to make sure that you're in the dock properly.
Yeah, and then some of the places you have to get out, go inside, walk all the way around to your dock, open the door, and look and be like, oh, shit, I'm not lined up. Walk all the way back outside and get back in and do it over. So the completely automated part of it, it ain't going to happen. There is a lot that has to be done for that to work. Now, the automated driving portion, I could see happening, having a driver get on the interstate. I doubt they would have it navigate through city streets, not at first. Once you get on the interstate, just like the Tesla sedans, you turn on the autopilot on the truck, and it will navigate the lanes on its own, and the driver just chills in the driver's seat and watches it do its thing. I could see that happening.
Yes. And then straight lines, pretty much. That's pretty much the only thing I could see them ever doing is straight lines. Complex driving, I don't see it doing complex driving.
Yeah, I don't think it wouldn't. Yeah, I don't see them, like I said, in our lifetime doing city street navigation.
Yeah.
Red lights and turns and all. Yeah, none of that. You get on the interstate and just take off.
But then most companies are going to say, oh, well, now we're only going to pay you 10 cents a mile now. You're not doing all the work.
Unless you own your own truck.
Damn Skippy. Then you wouldn't have all that semi-automatic shit.
I'd take one. I'd take one.
I wouldn't. I can't put... I guess I'm too much of a control freak to give my vehicle, which is a potential death trap for somebody else, the ability to drive down the road. I couldn't do it. That's why when I was leased onto a couple of companies when I first started driving trucks. I had my own trucks. And they just had it where some of their vehicles had, what do they call those things? The automatic braking systems.
Yeah.
And I had my own trucks, and they were like, oh, well, you need to get your truck situated so that, you can do this. Oh, hell no. There's no way. I'm not going to do that.
The first truck I had when I got my own truck and went and leased it. It had that front radar on it with the.
No, Keith, I don't. Don't have a dog.
It had the front radar on it with the automatic braking if you got within a certain distance, and yeah, I used to hate that shit.
Yeah, my son, he drives trucks now, and he says he can't stand it in his truck when he has to actually, he has an automatic too. There's no stick, no nothing. It's just an automatic truck with that automatic braking system. So he has to sit there and he has to tap the brake, then hit the accelerator, and then he has to touch the accelerator twice more after in order to disengage it. It's like, seriously? They're asking to cause an accident.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's not a real truck driver if he's got an automatic. I mean, come on.
All right, have a good time at the wedding there, Keith. What, you don't see this? It's right there. Keith Kahn is on YouTube. Yeah, he's on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to something as great as this, as far as in the magnitude of the impact on the roads, I don't like the fact that there are self-driving vehicles. At least with the type of technology we have today, I'm sorry, but there's not enough technology today. There's not enough of anything today that's going to make me feel any better that there's vehicles like this going to be out there. Did we lose Murder?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to find the YouTube thing. I'm lost in half the conversation.
Yeah, it's not showing up in my regular channel for some reason. Normally it pops right up into chat. No. I didn't sign up for searching. I did the Searching Grim one. That's through my, log out, because I only have it set for, Searching Grim because I don't use Restream anymore. Yeah, CNG Gaming at Outlook.com. Password. It's going to log in with a 3. I have to get it to reconnect with everything. There you go. Alright. Yeah, you found it. Okay, so, as far as this is considered, like you said, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I myself would not feel safe with this kind of stuff out there. Just, there's no way I can do it. So, let's move on. And our next talk is going to be about Sony and how Sony is not allowing cross-console, cross-platform gaming. Recently, Sony is not allowing not cross-platform, but cross-console gaming with Ark Survival Evolved. It's not allowing it to happen. Ark, lead designer, programmer, whatever you want to call him, Jeremy Stiglitz, I believe, that's how he pronounces his name, even stated on Twitter, he stated this. He says, for ARC, if the session host is running an Xbox One X, anyone connected to that host will not have to be tethered regardless of client's consoles. So what they're writing about is that they're working it so that if somebody's hosting the game, you don't have to be tethered. Anybody who plays ARC and you start a game on your system and somebody joins it, they have to be within a certain amount of footage or they get disconnected. So, I mean, that in itself, that's a step for ARC in the right direction as far as wildcard is concerned. But Sony is saying they're not going to allow this to happen. For whatever reason, they won't say. Stiglitz did state that he has, or his team, they have it working as far as console to console is concerned. And that's internally working. That both are playing on the same game or whatever. They, everybody can connect whether they're on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. But Sony won't let it happen. And right now, you can't play Minecraft on PS4. Now, Rocket League is cross-platformed, if I'm not mistaken. Because if you're on PlayStation or PC, you can play it. I don't know about Xbox. Do you know anything about it? Murder?
I have no
I'm
idea.
not sure.
I don't play Rocket League.
Yeah, I don't either. No,
I don't like soccer. I like real football.
Well, yeah. Okay, so it says here, if true, ARC would follow the footsteps of Minecraft and Rocket League, both of which have cross-platform play between Switch, Xbox, and PC, but not PlayStation 4. Okay, so PlayStation 4 is not allowing any of that to happen. So Sony isn't allowing any cross-platform gaming. Sony not playing cross-platform ball was something Wes grilled PlayStation global marketing boss Jim Ryan about at the E3 this summer. So it's something that has been brought up, but they still haven't commented why. So, and then ARC Survival Evolved launches in full on 29th of August and is coming to PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. And then ARC will also support Xbox One X, maybe in the form of two performance options of the 1080p 60 frames per second mode, which is roughly equivalent to medium graphics settings on a PC, or the 1440 30 frames per second mode, which is high settings on a PC. Damn it, Murder.
What?
Upsetting the bot.
Fuck the bot.
But having the game run on these settings for as far as performance is concerned on the Xbox One X, I think that's great. Having the two different options for the settings. But the thing I don't like here is, like we said, Sony is not allowing cross-platform gaming with their system. Even though it is possible that it can happen.
Me personally, I see an issue with this whole nobody letting anything be cross-platform. There's the big debate between, oh, PlayStation's best, no, Xbox is best, and then everybody always refers to PC as, PC Master Race. Well, you're making it a PC Master Race because you're not letting consoles play with PCs.
Yes.
They're making the excuse of, oh, the PC guys will have the advantage. Then you're making it a PC Master Race, saying console is disadvantaged against PCs. Some games, like first-person shooters, I could understand. You may have a little more advantage, depending on the person, with a PC over a console. But survival type games, Ark, 7 Days, hell, even Minecraft, right? Why not?
Yeah. Any type of gaming like that, I don't see it as being an issue. Now, the developers of Rocket League, Minecraft, and Gwent all have said that they've gone to Sony, asked to see why they won't, will they cross-platform this, and they had said, oh, we'll be happy to have the conversion, but then they don't do it. They deny it when it comes time to do it.
I wish they'd just go ahead and do it, and then you could host. You could have your own servers for even, say, 7 days. Even for people on console would have more options at that point. They would have more servers to play on.
Oh, yes, definitely. And they wouldn't have to worry about, like, Xbox. Xbox, you have to have 2 Xboxes to have a dedicated server to play on.
Oh, yeah.
You get rid of that.
Host a server. Yeah, host a server, or a friend already has a server, like me and you do. You already have a 7 day server running on somebody's computer. Well, yeah, you don't have to tie up another Xbox to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all greed.
I think that if they offered him enough money, yeah, they would do it. But at this moment in time, they're not going to do it. And here it was stated, okay, it says here, the question continues to be why exactly Sony seems to be so reluctant to allow any games to work between its own PlayStation Network and Microsoft Xbox Live. And the company Sony hasn't responded to the comments yet, for the request for a comment. But speaking with, I'm getting this information off of Eurogamer, by the way. In June said that Sony's Jim Ryan suggested that in the case of Minecraft, Sony was wary to expose that game's young players to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after. That excuse does not really fly with Ark, though, which is a T-rated game with an older fan base. It says here, Ryan also told Eurogamer that cross-platform decisions were a commercial decision between ourselves and other stakeholders. That suggests that there may be some financial issues between the parties involved that are preventing cross-console play from moving forward. Perhaps Sony wants someone else to pay for the work required to get the network talking to Microsoft. Go figure. That's what we were saying in the beginning. They don't want to pay for it. They want to put the money in their pocket. They don't want to dish the money out to get more people to put money in their pockets.
Yeah.
I really think that in the end, Sony gets off its high horse and starts allowing this to happen because they could really advance their player base more so if they open up their systems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I really think that Sony is afraid that Xbox is going to start selling more if people can cross-platform.
I think one of them needs to. They both keep turning down cross-platform opportunities. I think with that mindset that you just said, one of them needs to step up and be the first one to do it. They're going to sell more than their competitor because they're allowing it and their competitor's not. And B, I think it would force their competitor to join in with them or miss out on the money.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now, for Xbox, they were basically Microsoft to cross-platform with PC is going to be easier.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's a given. Now, are they going to cross-platform to Linux on the PC?
Nah.
That's the next thing. See, you know, and that's where you're going to start seeing, you know, this next go-to. Once PlayStation says, okay, fine, we're going to do this, what's next? It's going to be Linux. Because you have enough Linux users out there that play these games on virtual machines because Linux doesn't play all these games on Steam.
You know me, I'm always your other side of the argument when it comes to that.
What's that?
I said, you know me, I'm always your other side of the argument when it comes to that.
Yeah. I think everything should go to Linux.
I know you and Wicked both. Linux for life. Linux is dead. Y'all just ain't realized it yet.
Linux ain't dead. Windows is dead. Y'all ain't Linux. You actually, Windows is dead. It's adware now. Come on, seriously, look at it. It's apps. It might as well be a fucking Android device.
How many walk into Walmart, tell me how many laptops you see running Linux? None.
That is because the people who created those laptops, HP and all of them, are getting this kickback from Windows. Whereas Linux, it's free. It's free for everyone.
It's because developers
There's no money.
Can't put that much time into making their software compatible with all 5,400 and some odd versions of Linux that are out there, when all they got to do is make it compatible with Windows and Mac.
Mac is not a gaming PC. Damn it.
Well, that's about like saying Linux is a gaming operating system.
Well, it's really not. Linux is more of Brainiac work than anything else.
Linux is to gaming as Mac is to gaming.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not completely your nemesis on Linux issues. Linux is nice for certain aspects, but I honestly do not believe it will ever take over, and I don't believe it'll ever get equal in a gaming aspect with Windows.
Well, I don't think anytime soon it won't be like that, but eventually there's somebody who's going to be smart enough who's going to take Linux to that next level and make it some kind of a competition to Windows.
And I can agree with that 100%. Somebody at some point
will be smart enough. But right now
needs to make Linux easy enough for more people to use it.
Yes.
Have all the features, which is I know people are picky, they're demanding, but have all or enough of the features that a lot of people want. Then that will make it more, and you've got to keep it one version.
Yes.
Then that version of Linux will be competition for Windows.
Yeah, but we got to get to that point still. That's where, I mean, you got enough people who work on Linux on their own, who are in their garages, sort of say, mother's basement, whatever you want to call it, who are out there who are trying to do that kind of thing. I mean, you got guys out there all day long, and they do it because they like to do it.
Yeah.
They're not getting paid to do it. So,
I think the biggest downfall for Linux, in my opinion, the biggest downfall is that there are too many versions of it. People are constantly changing it.
I agree with the fact that there are so many different versions that it makes it difficult, but there are those main versions that people do work on consistently. It's just that you have 100 hands into the cookie jar trying to rearrange the cookies to be picked up.
Yeah.
That is where I think the problem stands. Because somebody thinks that their idea is better, so the cookie needs to stand this way, not this way. And so you'll never really get a true ability to do that as it stands right now. That's why you need that one hand in the cookie jar, picking up cookies, making it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sony, we took a poll. You need to allow this shit to happen. Get your thumbs out your asses and let it happen. But being a bitch.
And you got to do it because we said so. Our poll said so.
Our poll did say so. Our poll said stop being a bitch. So, moving on. Yeah, quit being greedy, bitch. Alright, so we're moving on. Nintendo being sued because of its Switch console controllers. Not the console Switch, but the controllers. GameVice, who is a company that builds a lot of things for Android devices and tablets and things of the sort, controllers for those particular things, they're saying that their patent on that particular situation that Nintendo has got for its controllers is an infringement on the patent that they have put into play many years ago. Back in... Hold on. When did they do it? 2008. And it was co-founded by the current CEO of Oculus VR, Brendan Arabi. Whatever. And the patent was finally approved in 2015, which is more than a year before Switch first revealed to the market their system. And then GameVice claimed that Nintendo directly or indirectly infringed upon this patent and are not stopping to check to see if this is going to happen. So what happens, GameVice goes to court, says you need to stop them from doing this because it's an infringement on our patent. And we want money. It always boils down to money. When both GameVice and Nintendo were both asked to comment on this, they both declined to comment on this. Should Nintendo apologize and pay compensations? Yes, no, who cares?
There should be an option 4 on that one, and it's not just me being an ass to the bot. Option 4 should read, should Nintendo still even exist?
She'll hear it here in a second because she's behind.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Nintendo's
still around.
Still trying.
Yeah. Well, you see, Activision is coming back.
I'm just surprised that they're still trying to compete in the console business. I mean, really, my opinion, really, I think their sales are mainly fan based. It's not feature based or price based. It's fan based. People who are diehard Nintendo people, it's the only ones really buying a console now.
Yeah.
Nobody's making games for Nintendo except Nintendo and a few of the small companies that have been with them forever. I mean, they're not putting out 7 days on Nintendo. They're not
Yeah.
putting out the new Call of Duty and the new Battlefield on Nintendo.
Sergi goes, Zelda should be ported to Xbox or PlayStation.
That'd be cool. I mean, yeah, make it yeah, either one of those, or just make it put it on Steam.
Yeah, say fuck it, put it on Steam. There you go.
Put it on Steam with some controller support. I mean, there you go. Then a lot of people can play it. I'm down for that with some Zelda. I mean, Nintendo as a console company, they should just hang it up.
Yes. Now, Game Vice, like I said, makes for tablets and smartphones and stuff like that, Android and iPhone devices, controllers that attach to the particular tablets and smartphones. That particular design is exactly what you're looking at with Nintendo Switch. It's a freaking tablet with controllers attached to the side.
I mean, all they've done is continued. All they've done is made it bigger and continued the same idea they did with the Wii U. The Wii U had the little screen in between the two sides of the controller. All they've done is made the screen bigger.
Yeah. Now, see here, it says Nintendo has sold 4.7 units of the Switch since its launch in March. Meaning that, how long has Game Vice been doing this, trying to get this type of thing to stop? It doesn't say. Nobody said this is what they've done. So nobody knows about lawyers in the background talking to lawyers or whatever. It's just now, finally, Game Vice has finally said, you know what? We're going to take this to the media and then see what happens. See here. It says here that the lawsuit filed by Game Vice claims that the design of the Switch, which uses two controllers called Joy-Cons that can slide onto a tablet computer to allow for portable gaming, infringes on at least one of the family of patents it owns. So they must have more than just one patent for the type of way that the device attaches to your smartphone or your tablet. And it says here, Game Vice allows players to control their video games using buttons and joysticks similar to a traditional gaming experience rather than using the device's touchscreen. So it's like basically a remote control that you plug in, uses, infrared and all those different types of things and Bluetooth to attach to your phone so you can play the games. And in all honesty, from what I see, it looks just like a Switch. When you attach it to a tablet, it looks just like a Switch. Yeah, any press can be good, and some companies don't care if it's bad press, but Nintendo's not, like Murder said, not on the top of the list of some of these, as far as a gaming company. I mean, they've been riding the coattail of Mario for a long damn time.
Yeah.
Because when you say Nintendo, you don't think of anything but Mario. Because that's their only thing they got. Now, it says here that in the complaint, Game Vice lays out the various ways that it claims Nintendo infringes upon its property, and is asking the court to halt production and sales of the devices and to award it damages. They're saying, I forgot who it was, said that there's a difference between the Game Vice patent and the Nintendo Switch. They're saying that the Switch controllers are not connected by what they call a flexible bridge, whereas Game Vice uses a flexible bridge, which holds the device to the controllers, that flexible bridge. So you put your tablet or your phone in to hold it, so you can play it. Whereas Nintendo Switch, it just slides into place.
Well, then wouldn't that be a different design than what they patented?
Well, they're just saying that's one of the patents, though. They're not saying that that's all the patents, because Game Vice is saying that they have a bunch of patents for a design, but they're not saying that it's that particular design. The other, let's see, it says here, one patent that was titled by Game Vice as being a combination computing device and game controller with flexible bridge select section. That is where it says Nintendo is saying they're not using Game Vice's patent, but yet Game Vice has more than just that patent. They have other patents for other types of game devices. And one place is saying that that's not what we're using. The other one's saying, yes, you're using this one, but you're saying that it's the other patent. You know what I mean? Make sense? No? Yes? Maybe so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you design something, right? I'm trying to think of something. I was gonna say smartphone, but there's too much involved in that. Let's say you design a type of charger for a smartphone, right? I can design the exact same thing you have using, say, stolen blueprints or whatever. All I got to do is change one little noticeable thing, and it's completely different.
Well, from what I understand, it has to be 50% or more of the design has to be changed before you can say that it's something else. Because like with our CNG logo, nobody can use that logo unless they change it more than 50%. They can't use the same wording, but as far as the logo is concerned, as far as the looks, they have to change it by over 50% in order for them to be able to use it. As per patent.
If I took that logo, put 3 different letters in there, and changed the colors, that'd be a different logo.
That's over 50% though.
Yeah, I mean something like that. That's small, minute. I mean, look at using chargers in particular. Look at how many different companies out there have phone chargers, and you can find them in gas stations for $2.
Yeah, exactly.
They all look the same. There's something in them that's a little different that everybody can just put their name on it. Change a little bit of this.
There's also those generic ones that people sell that they sell to all these other companies because it is a generic and they just put their name on it. they don't even have a patent because there is no patent number on it if you look at them. I've seen those ones like that where they all of them look identical. They just have different names, and not one of them has a patent on it. Because the company that designed that said, you know what? We're just going to sell it to you guys. You guys pay us, and we'll just put your names on it, and then ship it out. Did you see what she posted on the poll?
If you do, I'm going to choose option 5. She should know by now I'm an ass. That means I got to be an ass to the bot too.
That's right.
I don't play favorites.
So when it all boils down to it, did Nintendo blatantly or inadvertently use something similar enough to Game Vice's product to cause Game Vice to say, stop? That's what it boils down to. Did they or didn't they? Oh. How you doing, Benna? But you know, ultimately that's what it boils down to. The courts are going to have to make that decision. The lawyers are going to have to present their cases, and the courts are going to make a choice. Did they or didn't they? And it's all going to come down to wording. I guarantee you, it's going to come down to the wording of each one.
I have a feeling that I don't know. Nintendo's got enough money; they can drag it out long enough to where the other company gives up, or can't afford to continue going.
They're going to be wasting money on something very frivolous too.
Which one, Nintendo or the other people?
The Nintendo. They could be just dragging it out. That it's going to be frivolous for them to do so. Whether they did it or not.
If the other company wins, they've got to change the controllers, and they've got to pay out damages on everything that's already been sold. So they would probably save money dragging it out, trying to get the other company to give up, than to give in and pay. You know, it depends on how much the court determines you need to pay per unit sold in damages.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be, depending on what their lawyer demands and what the court gives, that could be a lot. I mean,
well, I get what you're saying.
Number.
Well, I get what you're saying, but what I mean is, if they did do it, why fight it? Just man up
to save money.
Well, I mean, you screw up. I don't care if you're Joe Schmo down the road or if you're some big company. You screwed up. You did something you weren't supposed to do. You need to pay for it.
Oh, well, now we're getting into morals. They should, yes, the moral thing, the right thing to do would be you say, yep, you know what, I fucked up, my bad, let me pay you. But we both know in the corporate world, nobody's going to admit fault. And they're sure as hell not going to pay out money if they can lie about it and avoid it.
Lie, cheat, and steal. The American way, right?
Exactly. They're not going to pay out money if they can get away with it some other way. Now, if it was cheaper, if the court was like, hey, just say I'm sorry and you know, give them a free Nintendo, they'd probably be like, yeah, fuck it, here, you know, here's 10 Nintendos. My bad.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I don't think that would be, you know, anything.
We'll change our controllers from this point on, as long as we don't have to pay you anything, you know. But yeah, I mean, they could end up paying out millions of dollars in damages.
Well, they made, just from the Nintendo Switch, they made billions. over $1 billion they made from the revenue
Well,
of that.
the Switch is, you know, what, $300-400 about average for a console, I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't
I'm
looked at the
guessing.
prices on them.
Yeah,
So
I have a PC. I deal with PCs. I don't deal with consoles, so I don't
they've
really know.
sold billions of them at say $400 a piece. That's a shit ton of money. I mean, that's teetering borderline fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
$400 a piece. If they're like, hey, you owe them $10 per unit sold, just because of the controller, that's billions of freaking dollars.
Well, you know the controller costs $100 just by itself.
That's what I'm saying. If the court said, hey, you know, $10 or even $5 per controller, I mean, hell, I hope they don't come with 2 controllers. I mean, that's a ton of money that they would lose. They'd have to pay this company. All of a sudden, this company becomes, you know, top product at GameStop now because they've got all this revenue.
Well, and that's the thing, though. GameVice deals strictly in the iPhone, iPad, Android devices. You know, Android phones and Android tablets. That's all they deal in. That's their thing. And in fact, I don't know of any other company other than GameVice that has anything to do with creating controllers for them. I don't know of anybody else who does it. There could be out there. I just don't know about them. I just know of GameVice because GameVice is just one of those companies that you see them every so often. They put out a new controller because of this particular game or because of that particular game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. They would rather, that's what I was saying earlier. They would rather, I'm sure, rather lie about it, try to get away with it, put it off and drag this out to hopefully where the other company can't afford to keep going or they give up or whatever. Because even if the court says you owe them $1 per controller, they've sold billions of units.
No. Millions of units. I think they said.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a lot of money, and I think that it's just. I guess I have a different set of values than these other people. In all honesty.
Well, yeah.
You know,
you've seen the news over the years. We're both old enough. The corporate world is not an honest world.
No, it's as corrupt as a government.
They are cutthroat as can be when it comes to competition. So, yeah, they're not going to have the same morals as me and you. You know, we screw up. We're like, oh, shit, yep, you're right. My bad. I fucked up. They're not. They're going to be like, screw that. I'm going to keep as much money as possible. I don't care who I screw over.
And that's where if you look at oil companies, that's the biggest thing right there. Yeah. They're the biggest crooks. Next to electric companies, oh my god, electric companies are crooks in them all.
Look, I mean, as of the end of July, Nintendo has sold 4.7 million units worldwide.
Really? Okay, so 4.7 million times $5
is a lot. It's like over $20 million.
Yeah, but I've seen people win the lottery more than that.
True. But depending on how much their lawyer charges, it may be cheaper just to. They probably have him on retainer. He's already paid. They just keep this thing dragged out until the other company can't pay anymore.
That's true. That's very true. But all in all, Nintendo, if they did do it, they need to just, in my opinion, just come clean, say, you know what, we screwed up, and fix it. And if they didn't, fight it. Fight the good fight and move on. Yeah, but if I see that the Nintendo Switch changes its design just a little bit, they were wrong.
Yeah,
I guarantee you that right now.
I'm with you. The right thing to do. They should, if they know that they did, even if it was accidental, and they look and can see, oh yeah, you know what, it is way too close to your design. We're sorry. They should do that, and they should pay whatever. But
yeah, and I think
like I
a
said,
lot of it
I
boils
don't think it's gonna
down
happen.
to. I think it all boils down to the R&D department as well. R&D department is probably out there looking for an idea, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I seen this somewhere, and I'm not going to tell anybody I seen it somewhere. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make it. I'm going to do this, and then like, here, look at this. Isn't this cool? And
Yes.
the corporate has no idea because R&D says, oh, we're the only ones.
Yeah. See, and then that guy's fired. If I owned Nintendo, I'd be like, yeah, you're fired.
Yeah. The hell?
What favorite letter in the alphabet?
Yeah. She put that out there just for you, bro.
I got 2 favorite letters of the alphabet.
Yeah. 6 and 21. Yep. 6 and 21. Which equals 27, which makes it a new letter. So, all in all, peeps, Nintendo, are they wrong? Or are they right? We don't know. We are just bringing out to you guys what is out there already to make you aware that there is, like Sony blocking things. You're out there. You got Game Vice who's suing Nintendo. You've got electric cars out there that are going to be running on their own. Hopefully not in our lifetimes, because I will get pissed. And now, on to gaming itself. PlayerUnknown's Battleground has overtaken Dota 2 for concurrent players at the same time. They are climbing up this list of PvP games of where they're at on that list. And in fact, I don't know where they are on that list anymore. I know there's a thing out there. How would you name that? How would you name that, bro?
Name what?
Trying to look it up. It's not games like it's how was it? What? PlayerUnknown's. Oh, it's right here. Never mind. I got it. Okay, so I got it right here. The top games by concurrent player count. As of August 27th, which is today? Yes, as of today. Concurrent players. Let's see here. Hold on. Where's the numbers at? I don't see the numbers right now. I know they have it on here somewhere. Steam Spy, I think that's one. That one. See if that's the one that has it. Okay, right here. Concurrent players. Dota, 833,300 48 players concurrent, and then PlayerUnknown's Battleground hit 863,708 players at one time. The highest that Dota has ever hit is 842,919. So PlayerUnknown's Battleground has surpassed them in concurrent players. Whereas the next in line is Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's only 560,000 max, and concurrent players at the time that when this was done, they had 523,000. So PlayerUnknown's Battleground has surpassed all these other games. H1Z1, it trumps H1Z1, which is 85,000 players. Grand Theft Auto, 103,000. Counter-Strike, 523. Dota, 833. PlayerUnknown's, 863. What's after that? League of Legends, I think, is the next after that, isn't it? When it comes to these types of games?
League of Legends, did you say, what's the Blizzard one? Heroes of the Storm?
Heroes of the Storm. I didn't see that. It was that was only on Steam games. That was Steam games only.
Ah, okay, I gotcha.
And that's Valve's own game. Dota 2 is Valve's. Is a Steam game, developed game anyway. So PlayerUnknown's Battleground is just really just tromping all over that.
Well, the guy that created that, isn't he the one that got fired from H1Z1, whatever?
He didn't get fired. He left for differences of opinion.
He probably tried to tell them how to make it better, and they were like, "Screw you, dude. You're not in charge." And he was like, "Well, fuck y'all. I'm gonna go make my own shit." And now they're better.
Steam chart track being played. Steam game player statistics. That's old news. I'm not even seeing League of Legends on this list. Did you know League of Legends has a shit ton of players?
Yeah.
And you know Dota's always had a shit ton of players.
Yeah, well, that's where the whole thing started.
Yeah, exactly. As of today, just recently, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds hit 877,000 players. Dota 2 hit 838,000. That's a shit ton of players playing a video game. And that's from around the world, too. That's not just United States or whatever. That's around the world. So, being that game, PlayerUnknown's Battleground has come a long way in just the short time that it's been out. And it's only, in my opinion, only going to get bigger. I'm just hoping that when they're able to release this, they release it so that we can just create our own servers for the games and mod them the way we want them to be modded. But we'll see. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, what the hell? Let's see what they were doing. Murder. It's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up.
I'm sitting over here laughing my ass off when I sent that to you.
I'm so insurging.
I love that t-shirt.
She just closed her eyes and just shook her head. Got a grin on her face. Oh, so, anyway, what are your thoughts on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and hitting that 800,000 or almost 900,000 players?
I think it's amazing. I think they deserve it. I haven't played a whole lot of it because it's, like I said before, I'm not a big PvP person. It's not really in third person. PvP is not really my thing, so I have to kind of get used to it.
Well, they have a first person now.
Yes, they have added first person. We played some of it.
Oh my god!
With Frank, I liked it. It was honestly, I liked it better than the third person.
Well,
I'm still not great at it. I got to play some more of the game, but
the driving aspect is so screwed, in my honest opinion, because I was trying to drive the boat and I couldn't see over the bow of the boat at all. Even if I turned my head up just enough, I still couldn't see where the damn boat was going. I was just guessing.
But from what I've seen, the other game like it, H1Z1 King of the Kill, I've watched a lot of people play it. I honestly think that PlayerUnknown is better.
Yes, PlayerUnknown is better. And if anybody doesn't know, PlayerUnknown created the Battle Royales for both Arma 2, DayZ, Arma 3, H1Z1, Battle Royale it was called at the time. And then when they parted company with Daybreak, they changed the name to King of the Kill. Got rid of Battle Royale. Went to King of the Kill. And PlayerUnknown created Battlegrounds. And he worked with Bluehole doing this. Well, actually, Bluehole came to him, said, hey, we'll front the bill, we'll give you the developers, you create this game for us. And that's what you got right now. And it has taken off exponentially. And when it comes to PvP, this is the type of PvP I like, next to World of Warcraft PvP, where I started. But this, I mean, and I keep getting better and better and better. Murder is better than I am. Frank's better than I am. Bacon, I know he played quite a bit. That's the other guy we played with the other night was Bacon. So, but yeah. Anyway, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. If you guys don't have it, give it a check out. If you like PvP, play it. I guarantee you won't be disappointed in the game itself. Now, the little bit of lag you get, it happens. It's a new game. They're still optimizing it. But it is a cool game, and we'll see what happens. You got anything, Murder?
Nope, don't think so.
Okay. Well, peeps, this is the end of the show. We'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. If you have any ideas for the show, hit us up. Hit us up on Steam. Hit us up on YouTube. Send us a message because we're over there on YouTube. Send us a message through CNGgaming.com. Hit us up there. Thank you very much, Nixie. Sorry. Nixie, whatever. Sounds like a sex toy. But anyway, hit us up on any of those channels. Send us your information, what you'd like us to talk about, or if you have questions, a tech question or whatever, just hit us up on it. And I say, have a good night. Friends don't let friends game alone. Peace.